Hi, Rob. Welcome back to the rebirth, I guess, of 3 Beer Thursday. It's been a while since I've done this, mainly because I've been too busy with the site and kind of lost focus, to be honest. One of the things I've been looking at recently is sources of styles and what's going to happen to this video. I'll tell you a bit more about later on, but this is perhaps the last one that's going to be done in this format. And as a result, I was thinking, well, what kind of beer really shows off what Japanese craft beer is about? I wasn't going to choose IPA, I was going to choose Pale Ale, but then Joe and I talked recently about this style, which is white ales. Perhaps better known as wit beers or wit beers from Belgium. They tend to have orange or coriander as an adjunct. And these are some of Japan's white ales that you can come across. We've got the Hitachino white ale here. If you have been reading us for a while on the site, you will have read about the interview we did up there. And they were actually making this beer at the time. Actually, it was in bottle form. This only became available in cans about 2 years ago, I think. And it's classified as a happoshu. It contains hops. It says on the side it contains fruit juice and the fragrance of grasses, but I can tell you now that it's coriander and also orange juice, orange peel in it. We've got this one here, the Suiyobi no Neko. This is perhaps the cheapest one on the market right now from Yoho Brewing. Again, it's a Belgian style white ale or wit beer, and it's very straightforward. It contains orange peel and coriander. There's nothing really Japanese about it. It's quite surprising. There's no yuzu or there's no rice that sometimes they put in there. And finally, this is the latest one actually from Echigo beer. It's called Always a White. Now, this one here actually came out about, I think, a month and a half ago, back in the beginning of June 2018. And it's something that I've seen, but I've never picked it up. This one is slightly different in that it does contain the coriander and orange peel, but it also contains ginger, and also you can probably see this very nice funky polar bears on the front. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start off with the white ale. Some people may think, oh my god, poor guy has to do this. Then to the Suiyobi, which is quite straightforward, and then finish off with the Echigo Always a White. Hi, so as you can see, got the white ale here in the can, and it's very, very cloudy, much cloudier than I remember. It's got a slightly orange tinge to it. You can probably see some of the condensation. This beer has been warmed up for a while, but for some reason you can still see the condensation. Very hazy, kind of an orangey, I guess, kind of an orangey amber colour there. In all fairness, if you tried something like a Hogarden, this probably is a bit lower in standard. It's got a slight nutmeggy aroma to it. It's very soft. It's not something that's going to blow your taste buds away. It's a little bit sticky. It's not something that, I'll be honest, quenches your thirst. It leaves a very sticky residue on the tongue. A little bit heavy actually. That could be because of the high amount of wheat malt in there. But one thing positive to say about it is quite soft in terms of the water profile. If you've had a New England IPA, you might have picked up on perhaps the chloride. A little bit salty, quite harsh. This is quite soft, a little bit gassy, excuse me, as you probably just guessed by that. But yeah, overall it's not really refreshing. Even though it's summer here right now, it's about 32, 33 degrees Celsius. It's not making me think, knock it back. But then, Kyuchi Brewery aren't known for their beers being good, I guess. Maybe some people think the Nest brand has been overdone. They focus too much on exports rather than the quality of the beer. Yeah, it's alright. Next up, we're going to move on to the effort from Yoho Brewing, the Suiyobi no Neko. I'm afraid it's not focusing. The Suiyobi no Neko. I'll finish this one up now and get back to you in about a few minutes. So next up, we've got the Suiyobi no Neko. Yeah, and as you can see straight away, look at that colour. It's completely clear. I mean, you can see my thumb through it. You compare it to the Hitachino Nest effort. It's like night and day. It's almost like this one has not been filtered. This one has been. Now this is kind of a straightforward wheat beer. Yoho Brewing kind of pride themselves on that. Let's get the nose in there. Whew. Straight away you pick up the coriander. It's kind of a slightly phenolic nose to it. Definitely funky. A bit so I got some beer on my nose. Bit funky, bit of orange peel going on there. It's a lot crisper than the white ale. You noticed some more of the yeasty flavours to it, considering it's been filtered. And the white ale hasn't. It's a lot more funkier. Again, it could be the Kirin influence. Some of you may remember that Yoho Brewing did have Kirin did buy into Yoho Brewing, so they've perhaps improved some of their manufacturing. It's actually a very fresh can. Normally craft beer in Japan has probably anywhere between a 3-month to 6-month shelf life. I don't know how well you can see this. I have to zoom in. But as you can see, this was brewed and canned at the beginning of June. I have sat in this can for a while. I was going to make this video last week, but the battery ran out on the camera. But tastes, for a sub 300 yen beer, this cost me 260 yen. It's not a bad effort. Again, compared to perhaps say a Hogarten, I'd say this one's more on a par. I would definitely have a few cans of this in the summer. Again, there's a slightly sticky residue on the palate, but yeah, I prefer this one immediately over these two. I mean, again, just a close up of the colours, you can see them. This almost looks like a Pilsner. This looks like a Weizen. But yeah, so far this one. We're going to follow up this one with the Always a White, and then I'll come back, drink some more, which is what I like doing, and have a final roundup. Cheers. Welcome back. Third and final beer. Always a White. And again, as you can see, a bit of slight condensation going on here. It's a slightly kind of hazy yellow colour. I mean, if you compare it, it's slightly darker than the white ale. And clearly, I mean, again, this is the Suiyobi. It's night and day. Again, just this looks like a Pilsner. If you put all three of them together, look at the colour schemes between them. This is the Suiyobi, the Wednesday Cat, the white ale from Hitachino Nest, and the Always a White from Echigo beer. But we've had those two. let's try this one. Now again, this has been warmed up a little bit more than the other two, so I expect the nose to come through. But the ginger, you can smell that ginger straight away. It's not even subtle. It's boom, ginger. It's almost like, perhaps, remember as a kid you did some science experiments and your chemistry teacher told you to waft the aroma. I recommend you do that, especially once this has been warmed up. Very potent on the nose for ginger. It's got that ginger bite to it. It's quite smooth though, after it follows through with the orange. Again, very sticky. It's not thirst quenching. I wouldn't be able to drink lots of these. It would probably be 1, 2 maybe, move on to something else. It's quite full bodied, a little bit sweet. It's just that stickiness. It's cloying to a point. It's unique with that ginger. First time for me to have a white ale with ginger in. But again, it's something that I want to have on a hot day. And I want a beer that's going to go, drink a few. This isn't it, I'm afraid. What I'll do, come back, do a quick roundup. See you in a bit. Okay, welcome back to the roundup. Now today, the 3 Beer Thursday was on white ales. These are them you can find anywhere. I mean, like I said, this is 260 yen. It's Kirin that's supporting Yoho. You can find it most places. This white ale, you can find it across places such as Seijurishi. Again, Lawson's have it. Echigo is slightly harder, but again, Seijurishi, Queens of Satan have been known to sell it. In all honesty, I think if I was going to choose one that I would drink every single day, the Suiyobi. It doesn't look like a white ale. I drank a lot of Hogarden growing up. For me, that is the archetypal white ale. It's not the best, don't get me wrong, it's not the best, but it's the one I grew up. These two I just find a little bit too sweet. The Kyuchi's slightly phenolic. Its nose and its aftertaste is a bit weird. This Echigo with the ginger, interesting, new take on it, but there's something about it that just doesn't sit right. Could be because it's quite cloying, quite gassy, and to be fair, that's all three of them are quite gassy. When I stopped recording, basically it was for me just to burp. But yeah, for me, I'd stick with the Suiyobi. They aren't the best examples of white ales in Japan. We will probably do some more in the future. Something I want to talk about is the sources of styles. Now, what we are planning to do going forward is, again, keep the sources of styles coming out. We've got the Saison coming up. Patrons will get an exclusive in August. It will come out on the site in September. And in September, we are planning to get a couple of the Saison 3 Beer Thursday videos up. The trouble is, Saison's notoriously hard to find in Japan. It's not a popular style. After that, we'll have American IPAs. Again, 3 Beer Thursday focused on IPAs. There's hundreds of them in Japan, so we'll probably do a few of those. The Imperial Stouts, my favourite. You've seen a couple of videos anyway. We'll probably rehash those, try and find some new ones for you. And then after that, we're into some ambers. What we want to do is keep the sources of styles, keep going for everyone to read, but link them in to the 3 Beer Thursdays so you get some direct feedback. As always, if you've got any questions, any comments, leave them below. You know where to find us everywhere else. If you don't, well, why are you watching this on Patreon? You know. Thank you again for your support. Take care. Keep your beers cold. Keep them craft.
Buy me a beer! Woo!
beer song.